Ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? I have missed you. This is Con Ulrich, and I'm bringing you some Steel Division Normandy 44 today. Before we get to the combatants on Carpiquet here, I do want to apologize for being gone for so long. I was unavoidable. Here I was last weekend, sitting down, ready to go and create some great content for you guys with Rangru. And my Mobo at 11:10 was okay. My Mobo at 11:15 was not okay. I restarted my computer. My computer went, which sucked. And I spent most of this time since then trying to get back on top of things. I'm still not even 100% with my computer, but I couldn't bear the thought of you guys not having material for another day. So I apologize from the bottom of my heart. Trust me, if I could not be doing it, I would not be doing it. But in the meantime, thank you guys for all staying strong and not, cutting and running. Let's get to the game right now then. We'll worry about my own apologies later, but I have missed you guys. I hope you've missed me too. Like I said, this is Carpiquet here, and this is a 1v1 between Fussel over here, playing as the 15th Scotch Infantry, and his opponent down here in the southeast. It is Frau Punkte, playing as the 91st Luftlande. Now, excuse me, we pretty consistently see the Scotch as well as the 91st Luftlande, but maybe this particular map, not so much for that kind of match-off. So we'll get into what they're picking up early on in just a second here, but very interesting to me is that Carpiquet, of course, is full of these lovely, lovely shot blockers pretty much all along the main line, except for this area right about here, and roughly about here. Other than that, there's just tons and tons of forest, and outside of a couple clearings over here in the north, it's going to really favor, I would say, an infantry kind of heavy composition, which is, heck, why we're seeing the 15th Scotch as well as the 91st. Now, looking over here on the northwestern side, we see most of Fussel's troops are fairly regular. 9 times out of 10, when you see a 15th Scotch player, you're going to see tons and tons of cheap infantry, and on top of that, you're going to see an AVRE, which we're going to see right back here in the back line. Now, this guy, I call him the Death Star, and if you've been playing this game at all, this is supremely powerful in the early game, especially since against an infantry-heavy group like the 91st Luftlande. Expect to see all these guys traveling up the main line, trying to control right along about here. And in fact, we are going to see match up against them over here on this lower right-hand side. A good amount of infantry already from Frau Punkte's 91st. 91st obviously are a, Luftlande. It's going to be a Fallschirmjäger division, which means that we're going to see very, very intense amounts of infantry. If you look right now, there's absolutely nothing anti-tank initially right now. I mean, you'll get a couple of Shrek squads now and again. But look to see the early part of this game really go in the favor of Fussel here. And as we get back to it, yeah, it's looking around. Okay, one thing to remember about Fussel's troops is that his Tommies, while they are not maybe as great a troop as some of the 91st Luftlande, they are vastly cheaper. Something that will probably prove fairly decisive here as the game moves forward. Now, and here we are actually getting kicked off right about now. So looking at dispositions, okay, actually not even focusing that much over here down in the south. Now, where's the AVRE going? He's going right here, so not a lot of line of sight immediately, but he's got that 600-meter cannon, that trash bin launcher, which is just insane, that petard mortar. Up on the northern side, surprisingly conservative, I would say, out of Fussel, and Frau Punkte is able to take a slight ticket advantage already, up +1, with a couple extra percentage points, but that's going to even out as soon as the Brits start to mosey on down here to the southeast, well, the southern side of the map, really. We actually are going to see a couple of anti-tank guns, and wow, these are super aggressive breakouts from the Germans. This is not going to go particularly well for him. Then again, considering how good his early infantry might be, this might work out a little better than I had anticipated. So let's get a little closer here. So what do we have? So we have a ton of infantry to the north, one leader, a couple leaders down here to the south. Whoa, he's going snug up to this. I've not seen this used very often, but on a heavily forested map, this is much better as ideas go. He's taking 5 squads of infantry, stuffing him right there, and I'm getting guess he's going to drive across right on the edge of this map, and that's going to be kind of amusing for me to see. Meantime, another breakout right here in the middle, not that fantastic Ersatztruppen. Now, Ersatztruppen, this is one of the reasons I would say that while the Tommy infantry is not going to be fantastic, the Ersatztruppen aren't going to be much better against them. Let's remember, Ersatztruppen are a bunch of several things here. Let's just not worry about that. We're going to be down here to the south to see some initial engagements here. Rifles are going to get forced back fairly quickly by this blend of, well, first of all, Flammenwerfer is coming on forward, and just tons and tons of Ersatztruppen, as well as Fallschirmjäger to back them on up. Now, we are going to have the command carrier coming on in, and this AVRE is rotating around. Take a quick look at what he sees here. That 600 meters, yeah, if he fires anywhere in this area, he's almost guaranteed to wipe out somebody, and that's going to be brutal. Not even with these Abwehr Panzers down here. The Fallschirmjäger Panzer Abwehrs, there we go. I mean, that Shrek is going to be good, but it's not going to be great. He's got to get it nice and close as well, so he's going to fall back in disarray. This AVRE is going to just devastate a lot of what's coming towards him. Oh, dear God, this first shot's going to be brutal. Where's he aiming? No! Oh, my God! Oh, my God, and that is going to be hard to follow up on for Fussel. This AVRE... 600 meters, I'm not entirely sure why he was so close to this road. He should have been scouting with his infantry to see if there's anything in the way. Oh dear God, that's going to be awful for him. That aviary is so expensive and so vital to the early part of the Scotch moving forward. That Scotch division depends on it practically. Now with this Flammenwerfer here, he's going to pin down all of this madness. And rifle leader with a Bois anti-tank, okay, that's nice and all, but there's no real vehicles coming on out for the Germans. Anti-tank gun now is like, dude, what the hell do I have to be here for? We are going to see both of the Pioneer Flammenwerfer and a Ersatztruppe have gone down, and the first reinforcements are really coming in, and the fighting is brutal up here in the north. Seeing a small cauldron going to be happening? No, not quite. But falling back, these rifles are going to get picked off fairly quickly. No, shockingly enough, no, they're not. Mostly because they just barely made it into the rifle leader's zone of control. And the northern side, yeah, the Germans are just churning their way through, which is super impressive to me. Bedford coming on in, and an early Churchill as well. Now up the north, more infantry. Yep, just more infantry in the north, some more infantry in the south. Oh, geez, he put a Pack 40 in here as well, so that's kind of surprising for me. But here he's got a couple of MMGs, and that's really not that. I guess that's not that devastating. Pack 36. I have to admit, there was an update recently. I think they did they give the Sturmgranate? The Sturmgranate, rather, excuse me, to the Pack 36. I honestly was not able to keep tabs on that one. Spitfire is out on the map as well. Kind of interesting that we're going to see... Yikes. These guys should be falling back. Interesting that we're going to be seeing the first air power coming out of the 15th Scotch, because it's not, you know, the most supremely amazing stuff. And that poor Pack 36 is going to be pinned down. This Pack 40 as well has gotten pretty devastatingly hit by early suppression. But here's the name of the game up here in the north. The 91st Luftlande is just taking it to the Brits. One by one, their squad's getting picked off. This Bren group is fairly strong until you start overloading with all this extra attention. So you pinned on down, and wait, where's the nearest leader on that one? Nowhere close, so if he wanted to, he could even go and pick that guy up. But in the meantime, Ersatztruppen and approaching through the trees. They're almost out of MP40 ammo, which is not going to be fantastic for them, because at that point, all they've got is just these K98s. And what's worse... Oh, okay, so they have Flammenwerfers moving in behind, so he's doubling down with all this flame and fire. The Germans are getting a little bit stalled in the south, and this Churchill is going to go and set up some really great distance fire. Not even really able to engage this Pack 36, but the Pack 36 is additionally out of range. And it's a little weird for me. Okay, we're finally seeing a tank coming on now, the 39H. And the MMG carrier, in the meantime, is creating just, like, the great schnoz in the German lines. It's surprising to me. Super surprising. Going back up here to the north, they did pick off that Bren group. They got forced into captivity. And, okay, the Fallschirmjäger Führers as well as Fallschirmjäger Jägers are coming on, and these guys should be able to throw back 2 squads of Tommies pretty darn quickly. Even that Bren gun will not be enough to see them win free, I don't think. However, they need to make sure they don't get in range of those Stens, because the Stens will devastate pretty much anything the Germans have outside of this LMG-42. And let's be fair, those LMG-42s are... Oh, dear God, here goes an air trooping. He's going to get captured rather quickly. Whoa! Whoa, and with that, actually, 54%... All this German stuff got cleaned up in the south? Oh, dear Christ, what happened? Yikes. How did... Yikes. Oh, well. Panzer Abwehr is going to go and take out this MMG carrier pretty quickly. I think he's aligning. There it is. He's gone. That guy is nuts. But what was I saying? What was I saying? We'll get back to that tank on the south in just a moment. Yep, there we go. So, one by one, being assisted by SS Truppen just to pin down, and the Fallschirmjäger's in there to kind of go and pick up the meantime. It's going to be the Germans just completely devastating this top side of the map. But the Brits holding a huge area in the middle part here, although that's going to be falling apart in just a second as this Panzer 39 comes in and should be able to pick him up. I do not know if he sees what's going on here. Okay, we took out a rifle leader just as I did that. And, you know, he's going to come in and around, and he's... Okay, he'll be able to see this in just a second here. No, oh my gosh, it's the best game of hide-and-seek ever. And they don't know where this guy is. Wow, this is so impressive. Okay, so the MMG carrier is going to come in behind. It should be able to actually pick on the Pak-36. Well, these Fallschirmjägers are... Fallschirmjägers, excuse me. Wow, Fallschirm is just the FS. While the Jaegers are kind of sitting over here waiting for an infantry target to show on up. And it's not happening, folks. It is not happening at all. But by the same token, we're going to be slowly approaching Phase B. And, yeah, the Scotch are really struggling here. Now, to give you guys a bit of context, this was Game 3 from the tournament, I think it was on the 15th of July. Unfortunately, it's a tournament I was going to be casting with Rangru. And that kind of fell apart. And Germans are starting to cut off over here on the northern side, but these are all pros, man. These guys are great. Ersatztruppen, maybe not so much, but they have a Fallschirmjäger Führer right up in the area. His MMG has been caught out. He's been found. He's not going to make it out of here alive. This poor guy. One more round might be enough. No, not quite. Falling back at least. All right, so he could force a surrender on that, but I don't think he's going to. But with that, the Germans take back control of the bulk of the map, 51 to 49. So it's not huge, but it still exists, and that's the important thing. Things in the south been stabilized? No, they have not. This Churchill is driving forward, and we're also going to see Honey Stewart in the main line part of this map. He's making sure that the German armor, already kind of minimal, really needs to be careful under circumstances here. This Fallschirmjäger is going to get picked up by these rifles. We're pretty much out of Bren ammo. And there's that surrender. Now, the Shreks, these guys need to have some sort of firepower. Oh, wow, I didn't even see that. The Führerkanone 39 has got himself throwing down some firepower on this main arterial in. This is such a beautiful game. When you get nice and close, another Honey Stewart coming on in. Coming up here, going to pick on this Flammenwerfer. The Flammenwerfer can get on a little bit of firepower, no pun intended. The Germans might be able to force a surrender there. But what was I saying? Okay, let's get back to the beautiful game. Just because it's not happening anywhere close to how you usually expect these games to go. You usually expect kind of like this churning kind of World War I style line. But I love when the front line gets completely and totally screwed up here. And we are into Phase B, so Martyr 2 coming on out, and the Martyr 2 coming to the south, just far enough away. He should be able to engage that Churchill if the Churchill gets in closer to this town center. Town center. All 5 buildings of it. But yes, Phase B is not the best of times for the Germans. Neither is it the best of times, though, for the Scotch. We see a little bit of a kind of falling off from both here, and I'm just continue to be amused by this engagement up here. This command carrier could get picked off anytime they want to, but it looks like they're just going to pinch out this last squad of rifle. These poor guys are going to get completely wrecked. There's Stuart Recce coming on forward as well, and they have those lovely, lovely HHL-3s. No, okay, I was going to say that. Okay, no. They actually have a Recce squad coming on out. Rifles, though, going to get pinched out, and that's going to be bad. In the meantime, though, we still continue to see Spitfires running along the main part of the line, and actually a ground attack coming on out. Don't see where that went. No, we do. It was going after the Panther 39. And the bad thing about that is that this Honey Stewart, first of all, has very little in the way to worry him at this current time. He's been putting fire over here towards the Fallschirmjägers as well as his Pack 36. But the Pack 36 might be able... Okay, he's starting to stress him out slowly. It's not perfect, mind you, but he's starting to do it. While falling back. More infantry being thrown into the mix, and I don't think the Brits have an answer to this northern side of the map, and the points continue to matter. Fallschirmjäger Abwehrs have been picked up down here on the southern side. But the Vielkanone 39 is doing a pretty good job laying that suppressive fire in the middle part of this field here. With HE ammo, it's pretty darn solid, and I actually didn't even realize he's got that lovely, lovely armor-piercing shot, which shockingly can actually penetrate the Churchill 5. The Churchill has to be very, very concerned here. Opel Blitz finally moving in with an anti-aircraft platform at long last. Fuel explosion, in the meantime, takes out the 39H, and the middle part of the field continues to go back into the 15th Scotch. They're not doing it with a ton of real firepower here. Also, musing up in the north, Flammenwerfer doesn't want to move forward to engage because, well, it'd be super, super bad. He's kind of waiting for this Honey Stewart to come up right next to him, and then maybe, just maybe, he can force a surrender. That'd be hysterical for me. And he's going to get this shot off any second. There we go. Not quite. Never mind. And the Honey Stewart's going to stop. Wait, bounce. Oh, dear God, here it comes. Bouncing rounds, and that anti-tank gun blows him to shreds. And that is going to make things so much more agreeable. So the Germans in the north, these Fallschirmjäger, the Fallschirmflammenwerfers, were just cut off alone in green fields, and now they are all set here. Assault Pioneers. Now this is fascinating. Assault Pioneers have thrown out that lovely, lovely little TNT charge. It's more of a satchel charge, but nevertheless, that has blown a hole in this German encirclement. And these guys still don't know that this command carrier has been hanging up here to the northern side. Wow, one by one, they all keep going down. Another TNT charge takes out the Führer, the Fallschirmführer. That means Einsatztruppen pretty much by themselves. Come back to the south a little bit. So the Marder 2 coming on in. Let's remember a thing about this Marder 2. Beautiful gun. Beautiful gun. A 75mm pack gun up mounted on a super, super light chassis. If I remember correctly, it was posted with a lot of French material, French and Czech, because that's where they had a lot of extras from. Oh my gosh, where's this Churchill going? What can he see? He's going after the Vielkanone. Or is he? No, no, he's not. He's not going to get a chance to. This Mortar 2 is coming on in. The Vielkanone is doing great work, and the Flak 36 is now up and ready to pour fire anything that is going to threaten his friendly faces. Now with the Martyr 2, fantastic weapon, but paper-thin armor. And that's just a terrible, terrible thing. Vielkanone 39 is going to be forced back, and I don't know if it's the greatest idea having the Martyr running in. He's going to get picked off here. Maybe he's going to get one shot off. Oh, jeez. Okay, so the guy who puts a round first on target is going to take out his opposite number. And the Martyr 2 might get another shot off. Oh, just barely not getting that Churchill. But alright. In the meantime, we're going to see just more gun runs happening out from this Spitfire. It's been a little disappointing to me that we haven't seen any air power out from the German side of things. I mean, the 91st Luftlande really does have some great, great firepower. Spitfire going to drop bombs over on top of this Martyr 2. They probably will kill him, even if it's remotely hit. Oh, there it is. We finally are going to see a gun run. Fantastic. ME-109 comes in and around. Spitfire has just taken a ton of firepower, and now the Flak 36 is going to continue to stress him out and force him away. Worth noting, though, that these guys, oh my gosh, what's it, 20 mil? 37 mil. Duh. That's it right there. 37mm is going to pour some good fire out. Churchill's going for the Einsatztruppen, and that's Martyr 2 is showing his side. This Churchill, not the greatest of plans. Whoops, that one. Rotating around. Still not sure why he's doing it necessarily. he's not going to be able to see a whole lot. He's probably going to be able to pour fire into this rifle squad right here. But really not the best opportunity for him. Pinching happening right in the middle again as the Germans were able to take out a Stuart or two. You see that's one death right there. I don't see the other one brewed up, unfortunately, but that's okay. Okay, Martyr 2. Okay. Oh, Martyr 2's got the transmission damaged out on that Churchill. Fantastic for him, because that guy's slowing to a crawl. Now, the problem with this is I just want to be too aggressive, because even just having HE ammo, this guy can still go down. That's a high enough value that I can take him on out. You can see it right there. He puts a line of fire. Oh, never mind. There we go. Falling back. So this should be a dead Churchill. No, not quite. Never mind. And this field Colonna is firing HE downrange and we completely missing. There we go. There goes the Churchill, and there goes a lot of the hope for the French, for the British and the Scotch, really. The British and the Scotch in the south. A Kubelwagen munitions truck is finally coming on out. The first one we've seen all game. And, you know, shockingly enough, this fight in the north just continues. Although those bombs right there might have something to say about it. No. Only pins them down. Doesn't even force them back, really. The Airstaffstruppen are in the area, and shockingly, these guys actually have no K98 ammo at all. So 360 rounds of K98, and they're almost completely out of ammunition. Fallschirmjägers, in the meantime, they're going to be able to get shot off at this Bedford. Doesn't look like it. More Airstaffstruppen in the back, not really doing a whole lot right now. And we are, what, just over 90 seconds away. Oh, jeez, more bombs. Okay, no. Just over 90 seconds away from Phase C. Fallschirmjägers finally decide to surrender, realizing that discretion is the better part of valor. They'd rather spend it in a Scotch prison than anything else. But no, we're up to +2 now, so frau Punkte is controlling 61 to 39% here. Though, shockingly, you wouldn't know about how some of these engagements are going. Okay, Pioneers, though, are in the area, and bombs away, and a big boom, and takes out another command carrier. In fact, it does the command carrier that managed to survive for so long. Without these Pioneers, well, they could throw this massive Gebauteladung, and that could be fantastic for them, but they're also going to get really close in, stuck in against both the Rifle Leader and the Assault Pioneers. The Assault Pioneers, those standing guns are rather good. Reloading. Okay, here it goes. Depleted. Yep, comes out. So watch what's going to happen to these poor guys. 3, 2, 1, and kaboom! There goes the Assault Pioneers. The Rifle Leader is going to be forced back, and that is another pocket cleaned up for the Germans. It looks like another one could happen just about here as well. So Assault Pioneers charging on in and firing off with just their Lee Enfields, and that's not going to be great. SMLEs are great for laying down a curtain of fire, but they're not great for doing a lot of extra firepower here. I don't know if that just popped up. I apologize if there was a little notification for Skype down in the right-hand corner. Alright, Airstaffstruppen should be able to pick off these Assault Pioneers, and now it looks fantastic for the Germans. This field cannon is getting all of its firepower back. Tons and tons of ammunition. And even this Flak 36 is throwing rounds down this Bofors. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see it. Guys, all the British infantry, the Scotch infantry has been picked up in the south. The Fallschirmjägers, are they coming down to the south to pick up and pick on this Honey Stuart? I don't know. I do know that this spot troop is not going to enjoy being shot at by the Honey Stuart. You know, Pants Up Fairs moving east to west. Also, Pioneers might throw a couple of rounds downrange at them, but gosh, not much of an issue there. And a Humber armored car has been brought in. That's a fascinating choice. Does make sense, all things considered. He desperately needs to clean up part of this area up here to the northern side, and that might actually even be enough to allow him to do so. There's a ton of infantry moving on in. Germans have some of their own, though, and an anti-aircraft piece as well, so maybe another Flak 36. But we might finally see this area picked on up. This guy's going to get captured or killed, and that's the one right there. Pioneers still in the area. Bofors first forced back, I believe. And this guy desperately needs to get some ammo back under wraps here. Martyr 2 transitioning to the north, and we did see finally the Airstaffstruppen had... No, Recce troop, the spot troop has gotten taken on out. Where is this martyr? The martyr's going here. That's a wickedly fascinating line of sight, but I don't think it's really going to be the best thing for him. Flushing makers are moving on in. These guys, again, though, do have those Fausts, and the question is, can they get that off? No, they can't. They're worried. They should get back in the trees, and they do. So Fussel able to bring it back to just a +1 situation, but he's down 6%. That is not going to be easy to overcome. He's getting further and further behind. 800 tickets as we speak right now. And this pocket up in the north, though, this could be able to get another 2 or 3%. That's 1. And these guys that's trooping are going to be forced to surrender the second they break. And there they go. That's 2. And yep, there we go. That's 2% right there. But being down 3%, as anyone will tell you, is still a very, very difficult prospect. Pioneers, have they thrown out? Nope, they don't have the range for the grenades. And these guys are going to get cut to pieces. These poor guys are under so much firepower between the Beauforts, as well as the rifle leaders and the Honey Stewart to the north. I would be backing up super, super fast. But they're not doing it. And Phase C, guys, we are in Phase C, so now we're going to see some N10s coming on out from the Scots. And the question is, we're going to see some really... Nope, just Martyr 2. Alright. Kubo munitions. Surprisingly enough, this guy's got no munitions left. You almost never see this happen because they seem to be dead or captured, or the game never goes on that far. But it is great for me to see a munitions truck and material finally actually getting completely depleted. It just never seems to happen. Spitfire has dropped more bombs down here over here on the northern side, but this Flak 36 is in the area, and this guy's going to put some great attention out. Oof. I got another Spitfire here. Good decision. ME-109 is going to take some firepower, but I think the Flak 36 might be enough to force him away. Pioneers were able to push back these rifles with the help of this Mortar 2. Mortar 2, thank you so much for that MG attention. And now finally seeing signs of life in the Luftwaffe and the 91st Luftlande. Flak gun in the middle part of the map. He's going to be forced back, though. Command Stewart, Recce troops and rifle leaders just kind of shifting up forward and making another bulge in the German lines. But just like that, now we are going to see... Was it the mortar that took that shot? No, it couldn't have been. Couldn't even tell you at this point. That was a beautiful shot. What could have hit him? I think it was a Mortar 2 that was back in. Might have been able to take that shot. But in any case, with the Command Stewart going down, there's still this Honey Stewart in the area. But you can see the 91st Luftlande is again threatening to create these cauldron fights. And he's been getting such great opportunity with those. ME-109s making gun runs and forcing the Honey Stewart back in disarray. Rifles getting threatened as well. And if the Germans can get down, they can force a surrender on the Honey Stewart, and that'd be fantastic. Nope, air such trooping going down, which means that this entire area is going to go back blue. But pockets of resistance, it's almost as if the Germans are dropping paratroopers along this entire line. Obviously, it's not happening. But these constant gun runs against the Honey Stewart are just doing great, great work, keeping them pinned down, keeping it forced back. Rifles getting picked up in the north. And this area right here is pretty much, I would say, the last bastion of immediate Scotch, I want to say Scotch firepower, Scotch threat. Well, there's a surrender right there, so the bottom side of the map gets further and further corrupted. An ammo explosion, so this mortar over here was able to take a shot from 1 billion miles away. Remind me, 1,200 meters? Yep, 1,200 meters on that 75mm gun. And with it, he looks like a champ. But we are going to see another Death Star up in the north. So the AVRE, again, these guys are super expensive, and it's very, very uncommon to see 15 Scotch roll with more than just the one in Phase A. But it could be enough to turn things around. I mean, it might be. Mortar 2 did go down to the northern side as well. Wolverine enough to do the dirty on that one. And he goes down in turn. The Spitfires try desperately to bring this 88mm cannon down. Not able to do so, though. But I imagine these being forced on back. If they get the Stewart Recce on in, he might be able to force a surrender, and that would be just awful. Quick. Drop them on out. So Pioneers are in the area. May not be enough, though. 20 HE. Might be. Aiming. Is he going to get the shot off? No, he's pinned down before it happens, so both these guys are going to get forced to surrender. And that's a big win right there. Aviary, in the meantime, though, he's lining up his shot. He's going for that poor Pioneer squad. Whoa. Okay. What? Okay, so finally, after, what, 30 minutes of gameplay, we're going to see a ground attack fighter coming out from Frau Punkte, and he just makes a gun run and completely takes out the AVRE. So the guy didn't even get one shot off. It's like a couple hundred points right there, just going straight over into the trash bin of history. So well done there. Challenger tank, though, is coming on in, and this is one of the major plays that brings the Scotch some really great late game firepower. Not the most beautiful of things, looks kind of more like the Monitor from the Civil War. But regardless, oh, wait a second. Regardless, the Challenger does bring some really great firepower as the game closes. The problem with that is that there's 2 mortars in the area, so while he can probably take out 1 with each shot, and yikes, this guy could have been a fantastic positioning. No one's going to see each other until it's too late, I think. Yeah, this mortar's really not going to get a whole lot of line of sight. Now, had he stuck right over here, it would have been perfect. Challenger does very, very good idea. Is going to go make a very minimalistic move, but no, he's going to bring himself into line of sight here. What the heck? Alright, this mortar's dead. First shot. Weapon damaged. Yep, he's completely boned. This mortar, too, really should be reversing and trying to find another position here. I think that's a dead mortar. Yep, there he goes. Like I said, paper-thin armor does have a problem every now and again. But it's still 57% to 43. And mainly because of that great early play of throwing in, where's the center line here? Throwing in 5 squads and just pushing down this wooded area. Fantastic use of the map there. You don't see that happening very often. Like I said, 91st Luftlande does not do well against guys who have some early vehicle firepower, and that AVRE could have definitely turned things around pretty darn quickly. Bedford's, though, churning on in, trying to get in and around and recreate this pocket. But there are some really great opportunities to blow them on up. All these Pioneer squads, and most of them, actually, most of them are completely filled to the gills. So not positive there. Fusiliers in the area as well. They're trying to get nice and close so they can use their... Oh, no, they're just going to try to stress them out. That's kind of a foolish idea. Oh, no, go for the Recce troops instead. Okay. Excuse me. Spitfire making a run over the middle part of the battle space, but that Flak 36 will encourage him to back away, I would assume. And ME-109 making ground attack runs, no problems there, I would say. So Fusiliers had an opportunity to go and take out the Stuart Recce, but not going to be able to do so after all. Pioneer squads, though, might be able to get close enough. That's only, what, 50 meters on 10 meters. No, 100 meters, excuse me. The AoE is 10 meters. And geez, we're back to a +2. Bedford's decided not to go, I'll try to create that pocket, just going to the north instead. And you see him trying to get in and around. So the Germans will lose some territory, but all things considered, doing a very, very great job. And the Henkel is coming right back in the 129. A couple of shots, engine destroyed, ammo explosion, and he's still got 2/3 of his ammo left. Problem with that, really has no focus. Spitfire going down. Oh my gosh, another Spitfire ground attack. Where's he going? He's falling back. What was I saying? Oh, yes. The 129. So the 129 is brutal, all things considered. I think the other martyr went down. I don't see anywhere where he could have gone, so I think the other martyr went down. And AVRE is back in play. But no, what was I saying? Henkel 129. The C-130 of its time, fantastic shots, and really against a lighter skinned vehicle. Really hard for that light-skinned vehicle to even survive remotely what's going on in that area. Not the most skillfully constructed sentence there, but hey, forgive me. Stug 3 finally coming on, so the, quote, late-game firepower for the 91st Luftlande. And we're just seeing pockets of resistance here as Pioneers, which are intensely loaded to the gills, take another rifle squad, rifle leader, in fact. Recce troops in the back, not able to do a whole lot here, and now more ground attack coming in. Whoa, who's this nifty little guy? Beeston. Okay, so Beeston has got himself a little bit of veterancy here. But there's a lot of ground firepower, and you don't want to be going into that. And you can see one guy already getting forced back. Poor gentleman. Stressed as all get out. I mean, 109 though, he's going to take some fire as well, but he's going after this Challenger, and really the name of the game is just to stress this dude out just long enough that maybe the Martyr can get in and get a shot or two off, but no, he's just barely out of range there, isn't he? No, he's not. But he's not stopping for it either. Okay, one shot. We can take it, or let it slip. Oh my god, and there it goes. There goes the Challenger, and that's a lot of what's really keeping Fussel even remotely, I would say, close on this, but at this point, he's collapsed. You stick a fork in him, he's cooked, my friends. 8 minutes left to go. He's got no real armor on the front lines. His AVRE, excuse me, Churchill trundling on in. The AVRE as well. One AVRE does not a comeback make. And I believe he's going to start taking rounds, putting rounds out, and the Zero trooping, and that's just mean, but, yeah. Yeah. Not going to be enough. It's still +2 over for Frau Punkte, and Fussel's not doing a whole lot about it. Pinning down these Pioneers, so he might be able to force a weird surrender? No. Pioneers might want to slide in and around. They're not doing it either. Instead, they're just grabbing more territory. How fascinating. Me-109 in the meantime, stressed, but at the same time, making a lot of... Oof. Oof. I mean, I'm making a grave error. Smoking like crazy. Will he get out alive? Maybe. Probably not, though. I'm just perplexed to see whether... Nope, he's not going to make it. Poor guy. Poor guy. The Frau Punkte is up now over 1,800 tickets. Yeah, that's going to be it. So I'm going to pretty much call it right here for Frau Punkte. Congratulations to him. I think he ended up winning the tournament overall. And with a playing like this, very interesting decision to use that edge of the map to really drive the front line forward. Fantastic idea. And definitely one you want to see a lot more often. Stroke takes out the Churchill with a nice little side shot there. And Fussel does surrender, so congratulations. Well done, Frau Punkte. You definitely pushed it rather well. Oh, I said Carpaquet. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, folks. You know, a week away from the game. Bois De Limors. I am so sorry. Major defeat, major victory. And look at the kills, though. I mean, fairly, not perfect, but 80%. Not too bad. Overall, who is the biggest threat? Well, Paul's is going to be a bit of a threat here. You know, we see the rifles have done some good work, and I'm going to assume he's just the guy who just forced a bunch of surrenders. Another kind of idea right here as well, in the center part of the map. Shockingly, though, Honey Stewart, not that much. Spitfire, a little bit. But, like, these vehicles are not getting the usual kind of kills you would expect out of them. AVRE. This is the later one, I think, as well. Yeah, this is the later one. Well, you should be seeing the AVRE getting incredible amounts of kills early on. But no. Panzerabwehr, fantastic. 3 vehicle kills, the AVRE early on, as well as the Recce troops, definitely pulling its weight. Ersatz doing pretty well. This Fuelkanone, definitely a strong contributor to Frau Punkte's victory. But all things considered, the 91st Luftlande has a lot of their material spread out. So well done there. So guys, I'm so sorry about that. Bois De Limors. For some reason I thought Carpaquet. And yes, thank you guys so much for checking in and coming back from my kind of return from technical issues. This has been another Con Ulrich video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you like what you see, please comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you guys all soon. I am signing off now. You all have a great day. Take it easy.